This is the Matrixx Hour with John Matrixx. Pop culture, news, and reviews. Buckle up for the ride. Here is John Matrixx.
The Matrixx Hour Podcast. We are back with another episode coming to you outside of Houston, Texas. John Matrixx and my beautiful wife is here. Say hello to everybody.
Hello.
And I have to mention, our dog is here also, our third co-host. If you guys can actually see her right now, she is sitting on her mommy's lap. She's being quiet, and instead of actually paying attention to the podcast, my wife is actually paying attention to her. So, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good.
You good? So we have a pretty good show for you guys. Actually, I think it's somewhat of a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. Wouldn't you agree? The two topics we're going to be covering here?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about, the whole show is really going to be about critical race theory, but there's something good that's happening with it, and there's actually something bad that's happening with it. Should we actually start with the good or the bad? What do you think?
The bad.
You want to go with the bad first?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the bad news is, folks, the United States Navy is going woke. Wokeness has infiltrated the United States Navy. And guys, I was a veteran of the Navy. I served from the year 2000 to 2004. And I've never seen anything divisive like this before when it comes to the military. So tell me, what do you think of when you actually think of the military?
Well, as a civilian, when I first think that military should, teach, soldiers how to defend their country and their history,
Yeah, when I was in boot camp, we studied U.S. naval history.
Mm-hmm.
And also, when they're trying to recruit people into the military, yeah, they talk about education and stuff, but they actually talk about defending the country. Mm-hmm. But now in 2020, with all the wokeness, the U.S. military seems to be a bunch of social justice warriors out there with these woke recruiting commercials. You've seen the commercials too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, not good whatsoever. They're pandering to people like, it was this Army one, and it was about this female raised by quote unquote two moms. Now, we all know you can't have two moms. That is just a biological impossibility, right? Mm-hmm. Completely impossible. Anyway, let's jump back to the Navy. Critical race theory is being pushed into the Navy, and it's coming from the head honcho in the Navy. I'm talking about Vice Admiral Michael Gilray. He needs to be fired because he has a book from Ibram X. Kendi, who is a racist. Black man, hates black people. He's a communist. He hates capitalism. And he talks about all of this in his book, How to Be Anti-Racist. How do you be anti-racist, you may ask?
Well, for me,
We're being more racist. That's his point.
Well, my point is to be, anti-racist is to be that we should, the good thing is, to know, God, Jesus Christ, read the Bible.
Well, Marxists don't like God.
Well,
they don't like God. They're anti-religious.
Yeah, but at least they should know that we are all one race. I mean,
Well, the critical race theory people like Ibram X. Kendi, they're not about equality. They want equity. Equity, which means basically we're going to take from you and redistribute it based on race class. That is a Marxist belief. They're anti-capitalist. So let's say you're a white person. You're supposed to they want you to give up your property to the government, and the government should redistribute it based on race. Very similar to Maoist and Marxism, where it's based on class.
Mm-hmm.
Not very good. And the only way to fight racism is to be racist, because to guys like Matrixx Kendi, if you say you're not racist and you know you're not racist, you don't do anything racist. If you don't speak out against what they perceive as racism, which is pretty much anything, then you are a racist. How does this make any sense?
It doesn't.
No, it does not make any sense. And now to have the Vice Admiral, the Chief of Naval Operations, out there recommending a book from a trash human being like Matrixx Kendi is gravely disturbing, because it's going to make the military divisive.
No, it's also make the military very weak.
Yeah, definitely very weak.
And other country who hates America can just come into America.
Well, they're not even recruiting anymore on defending the country, because when you put in these Marxist beliefs, these Marxists don't like America. So they're teaching stuff from people that don't like America. Have I ever told you what happens when you actually walk on to the U.S. Navy ship?
Oh, and when we visit Austin?
No.
Remember?
No. I was talking about Navy ships. Navy ships.
No, we went to see the Navy ship in Austin, remember? That you showed me?
Oh, no, that's out here in Houston.
In Houston.
Yeah, that's out here in Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did I do? I go up to the ship. I look at the United States of America's flag.
Yeah.
On a U.S. Navy ship, when you're in the military, you go to the flag. You salute it. And then you ask the officer of the deck for permission to come aboard. And when you leave the ship, you ask for permission to go ashore. Mm-hmm. You salute him, and then you salute the flag, and you walk off, respecting the country. Marxists don't respect the country.
Well, I think, yeah, that's the bad part. I mean, it just like, I don't know why, some Americans here, they're socialists, they don't respect America. I mean,
well, yeah, because they think socialism is the best thing, but they never experienced it.
I mean, there's some bad part like racism in America,
Yeah,
but it's not bad.
It's not widespread.
No.
It's not widespread. The crazy leftists want you to believe that it's widespread. And so the left is actually a proponent of critical race theory that has no part in our society, least of all our military.
Yeah, and I don't understand why, like the public school and college, they like teach, students how to, hate America.
Well, it's coming from these woke professors. A lot of these professors are leftists. And the leftists are the ones that hate the country.
Yeah, but like, it's just, I mean, I do like, American history, and
yeah,
I don't know about Texas history, but I do, I have my husband,
yeah, I'm from Texas.
teaches me, and we did went to see the
Alamo?
The Alamo, the first one, and the second one is the Navy ship.
Yeah, the Navy ship, that's the USS Texas. That was a battleship that's out right outside of Houston. It's pretty cool to actually see that.
It is, and we got to, go inside, to see the ship. And it was pretty interesting,
It is really, really interesting.
I mean, it was a hot day, but
it was a hot day. That was probably, what, 10 years ago, probably?
yeah,
It's been
but
a
I
while.
was interested, because I never, went into the Navy ship. So I was like interested, to look around,
Yeah, you thought at one point of actually joining the Navy. Remember? That was a while ago.
Yeah. But anyway, it was pretty interesting, and there was a guy. I guess he worked there. He was a tour guy. Yeah.
Yeah, tour guide.
Yeah, and then he talked about, he was, proud to talk about like the kind of like the Navy history.
Yeah, the history of
The
that ship,
ship,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool,
Yeah, it is cool. I mean, it's a very, very old ship. You can see the elements. Battleships have been out of commission since the Gulf War, so it's been like 30 years. They just don't make ships like that anymore. Ships have actually changed now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but the history, I think history should be preserved, and it should be based in facts.
Yes.
There's no facts whatsoever in critical race theory or the 1619 Project.
Yeah.
It's based on feelings and Marx's beliefs.
Yes.
That makes no sense. So that's why we actually have good news that Texas has banned the teaching of critical race theory. Greg Abbott just signed that into law a few days ago. Now, they aren't quote unquote banning quote unquote critical race theory, because any type of elements that are associated with critical race theory cannot be taught. You cannot teach basically in Texas that because of race, one race is superior than the other one, revisionist history, all that stuff. That's basically what 1619 Project does, and the elements of critical race theory banned finally in Texas. Thank you, Greg Abbott. Because up there in Dallas, it was getting pretty bad. But I noticed something, though. Have you noticed something else? There's YouTube videos out there. People of all races, black, especially black. I've seen a lot of black parents speak out against the teaching of critical race theory. Black people don't want it. Also, you saw the Asian lady, too, from China.
And the North Korean lady.
Well, yeah, the North Korean lady. Yeah, she was defected from North Korea. And she was actually a student at Columbia University. And she said that they're up there teaching critical race theory, and she sees similarities between that and North Korea. That should terrify you.
Yeah.
If you're an American. The groundwork of Marxism is already being laid down. Just imagine what this country would be like in, let's say, 30 years if we keep going down this track. We will probably end up looking a whole hell of a lot more like China, like North Korea, like Venezuela, like Cuba, all these communist countries. Will probably look like them in 30 years if we don't clamp down. But people are fighting back. States are fighting back. Governors are fighting back. People cannot remain silent. And you want to know also something?
Yeah.
I think it's more important now to vote than ever.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Because people are frustrated with the 2020 election. And there's some people out there saying, oh, no, might as well not vote because what happened with the 2020 election. No, you better keep voting or socialist Democrats will never, ever lose. We need to fight back. People are waking up to all of this nonsense and garbage that's being pushed out there, being taught to our children.
Yes. And I also think that, I really, really believe that, the school and the college to teach about the real history, you know.
Yes.
I mean, even though like there's some, bad history, I mean, people need to know so they can think for themselves. That's why free speech is,
Yeah.
is very important.
Now, the founding fathers, did they own slaves? Yeah, a lot of them did. But however, they set the foundation for the great country that we have right now. No country's history is going to be pristine. Not at all. There's been bloodshed. Every single country. Whether it's Rome, whether you're talking about Germany, Native Americans also. And by the way, Native Americans owned slaves too, by the way. And they owned slaves after, they were actually the last ones to actually eliminate slavery. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, that's true. Like Juneteenth just got passed as a federal holiday, even though Juneteenth wasn't the day that slavery
Yeah,
ended.
but I don't understand how, they put like Juneteenth Independent Day.
That name, I believe they tried to use that name to be more divisive. Now, it passed in the Senate unanimously, and there was 14 Republicans in the House that voted against it, mainly because they said that the left is trying to virtue signal with all that. And the thing is, they actually are probably right on that too, but since they actually didn't vote on it, I believe the left is actually going to use that against them one day eventually. Because this Juneteenth federal holiday now, which is actually being observed today, it's officially called Juneteenth, I believe Juneteenth National Independence Day. Now, we already have an Independence Day, July the 4th. I believe that they use that Independence Day, put that connection in to be divisive. They should have just left it as a Juneteenth Day. Just leave it at that. But Juneteenth did not end slavery. The 13th Amendment passed December 6, 1865, like 6 months later after Juneteenth. That officially ended slavery.
I mean, I wonder, do like the socialist Democrat here, do they understand that, people from other country, they know about American history too? They study it? I mean,
Yeah, but they're trying to revise it. They're trying to have revisionist history. Like, one thing about the Democrats, all this stuff about race, Democrats have always been the party of slavery, segregation, Jim Crow laws. They were the ones that was trying to block the 1964 Civil Rights Bill. It was all Democrats. If it wasn't for Democrats, all of this racial divide, and they're pushing it right now too. This guy, Ibram X. Kendi, he's a far leftist, basically a Democrat. They have always been the party of racism and always will be. But they have been smart. I'll give them that. They have been smart because now they try to flip the script and say that people on the right are the racists when throughout their whole entire history of the Democrat Party, they have been the proponents of racism. Because what did I say before? You probably heard me actually say this in videos. When Democrats don't have a good point, they go right to racism. They pull the race card. Like these voting laws that red states are actually putting in. What is Democrats doing? What are they saying about people on the right? That's racist. Even though these voting laws have opened up more voting. Shouldn't you have an ID to vote?
yes.
Is it racist as an Asian person to show an ID to vote?
No.
Of course not. It makes common sense, right?
Yeah.
Common sense. But one thing we know, socialists don't have common sense.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. I think our dog has more common sense than them. I think so. She's
I
very
love my dog.
She's very, very smart, guys. Very, very smart.
Yes. She is.
And our dog is not a crazy leftist. Our dog has a lot of common sense. Even though, is she sleeping?
No, she's
very, very
She's
quiet right now.
tired.
She's very, very quiet. She's only spoken up on one video on anything.
yes.
And I believe we were talking about something similar, and then she went crazy like, these leftists are just out of their mind. They're completely
Yeah, we were
crazy.
talking about border crisis.
Yeah, I think so too. And our dog is completely against that. Oh, and by the way, speaking of that, now that we brought this up, this is off script here, but Texas is going to complete the border wall for Texas.
Yes,
I know that makes you very, very happy.
it is. But it should be the federal government do it. But
Would you trust Joe Biden to actually do that?
no.
No. He's the reason for the border crisis. So Greg Abbott, Texas is going to put, I believe he said, a $250 million down payment on the border wall. I believe he says it's going to cost something like $1 billion, something if I'm not mistaken. But Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, is actually going to send law enforcement over here to help with the border crisis because China Joe Beijing Biden does not want to protect Texans. And Ron DeSantis said that Florida is being affected by having an open border. Mm-hmm. Do you know the amount of drugs that are coming in across the border? People think just illegal immigrants. Yeah, that's true. There's a bunch of drugs coming in too. The cartels are getting rich. And it's Joe Biden's fault.
Yeah, and the crime is going skyrocket.
Yeah, crime is going up. You know, it's funny too. Out there in Chicago, you know, Lori Lightfoot, the crazy Democrat socialist mayor over there, is pleading with Joe Biden now to help her.
On illegal guns.
Well, yeah, that too, because crime is run amok up there.
Yeah.
But in Chicago now, I don't know if I told you this or not, police are no longer able to pursue people on foot anymore. So essentially, the police have been neutralized from doing their job. So if they get into a high-speed chase with police, all the criminal has to do is stop their car, run on foot, and the police can't pursue them on foot. So pretty much the criminals get away scot-free. Why do you think Chicago, the third largest city in the U.S., has such high crime rate? Because police can't do their job anymore.
Nope.
Think of this. If somebody came in, broke into our house, stole our stuff, running on foot, what would you expect the police to do?
Go after them.
Not if you're in the People's Republic of Chicago. That's not going to happen.
Go after them and arrest them.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Because criminals have more rights than you now. Criminals have the right to go out there and steal and kill if they need be.
Yeah, and they don't have any consequences.
No. When you don't have consequences,
They keep doing it.
bingo, crime goes up. I mean, I'm pretty sure our dog is smart enough to figure it out.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Chicago's been run by Democrats forever. Why do these people keep voting for these crazy socialist lunatics?
Same with California.
Yeah, California, as they call it.
Yeah, it's like they have a law where people can go into the store and take stuff that is less than $1,000.
Yeah, something like that happened in Walgreens.
Yeah. And
Walgreens.
17 store closed.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That tends to happen when you have your inventory stolen. But to Black Lives Matter, that is reparations. Because Black Lives Matter actually said, I believe this was actually in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, last year. The leader of a BLM chapter over there, she says she doesn't care if you steal still a Gucci bag or whatever, it doesn't matter because that's reparations.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense, folks. People, wake up. Wake up. The socialists want to take everything away from you in the name of equity. Equity. They don't want equality. They want equity, which makes no sense. It's nothing more than a socialist Marxist term they use. That you know, it's funny. They're not even trying to hide that they're socialists. They're not trying to hide it.
No.
They want this stuff. They want to take everything away from you. How would you feel if some crazy socialist just came in here and decided, you know what? We want equity. Let's take your dog.
Absolutely not.
What about our cat?
Absolutely not.
How about they just take our whole entire house? Even though we're minorities, by the way. We're minorities. They say, get out your house. Because out there in Chicago, they were out there, or St. Louis, I can't remember exactly what city it was, telling people to get out their homes. They want those people to get out of their homes. Insane. Completely insane.
I think we should build a tank Terminator and have buy a lot of guns.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So September 1st, Texas is going to have a constitutional carry, which means you don't need a permit to carry a gun. So I'm thinking about actually getting us a 9mm September the 1st. Don't need to go through the loopholes or anything. I know how to shoot 9mm. I got my training in the Navy before the Navy got woke. I was in the Navy before the Navy got woke. I don't even know if they're actually showing people how to actually shoot guns anymore. I guess they're too busy teaching critical race theory in the Navy. Do you join the Navy to learn about critical race theory? Or do you go to the Navy to learn how to defend a country, which includes learning how to shoot guns?
As a civilian, I think that, the Navy, should learn how to shoot gun, learn how to, defend their country, not hurt the, innocent people,
Yeah. Innocent people, no. You should be learning how to shoot guns. We learned how to shoot a lot of guns in the Navy. Mm-hmm. We were not woke. We didn't have all this, you need to read this book by this pro-Marxist to be anti-racist. Ridiculous. Absolutely insane.
Yes. And I think the Navy should learn, strategy to learn how to, catch, the terrorists.
Yeah. But that doesn't seem to be a priority because, Beijing Biden is saying that the biggest threat to the United States is white supremacy. Before that, he said the biggest threat to the U.S. was climate change. It keeps changing time and time again. Time and time again. We all know that it's a complete lie that white supremacy is not the biggest threat to America.
No.
I would actually say the biggest threat is really socialism and communism. That seems to be a much bigger threat because that is really, really infiltrated every part of our lives. White supremacy, not so much.
Well, when you look at the damage cost that they make, it's really, really high.
Yeah. All that rioting last year, billions of dollars in damage. How much did white supremacy contribute to that? Probably not much of anything. Not much of anything. You know how many people in the Klan now?
Oh.
There's probably the Klan's numbers have been dropping for decades. Last I checked, it was 5,000 nationwide. Nationwide. That was pretty much it. I mean, they are so irrelevant. Completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's going to end up wrapping up this show. That was a pretty good show today. I guess our dog didn't really have much to say on this show at all. She didn't have anything to say.
Tired.
Yeah, she's tired.
Oh, one more question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What do you think, like, when, we saw the news before, it was when Obama was the president, and the news showed there was, like, white
White supremacy?
Yeah. Join the military. What do you think about that?
I heard about that. Is there white supremacists in the military? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is. But it's probably next to nothing. Overblown. And, they even talked about that now, too, that Biden's in office. White supremacy on the rise. Really? Is it? I believe this is nothing more than Democrats making up a fake boogeyman. That's all they're trying to do. Because the way they keep the way they actually keep people on the Democrat plantation, they got to have a boogeyman. Mm-hmm. Trump is not in office, so he's not the boogeyman anymore. Now it's the rise of white supremacists and everything. But what do these white supremacists come from? They come from the Democrat Party. We already talked about that. The Klan came from Democrats. Mm-hmm. But do I think that white supremacy is running amok in the military? Absolutely not. That is completely insane. But that's going to wrap up this show here, folks. Thank you for joining us on another episode here of the Matrixx Hour Podcast. We're looking forward to making the next podcast for you guys. So make sure that you do rate us. Give us a 5-star rating on your favorite podcasting platform, whether that be Apple Podcasts or Stitcher, Spotify, whatever. So for me and my wife, we really, really do appreciate you guys for showing up and listening to us. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Matrixx Hour with John Matrixx. Join us next time for pop culture, news, and reviews.